going. Let's start quickly. So we know that, yes, in this Python actually has, they said Python has 6 conditional statements that is used in decision making, about 6 of them. So conditional statements in Python. Now the question here is, please listen, it can vary, no problem. Okay, it might be 7, it might be 5, but who cares? We have come across many of them, right? Conditional statements in Python. Now, you know for sure we have treated if statements. So just for clarity's sake, let's revisit them. If statements. Okay, revisiting doesn't mean I'm going to replicate the entire thing. No, we have done if else. Okay, and then we have done what? 3. We have done what? If else if. Okay, so that in that case we treated nested if. I'm not sure if we've done it, so that's why we will revisit it. Nested if. Then you have seen actually if, elif ladder, elif ladder. Okay, they call it elif ladder, no problem. But what interests me is maybe we look into your shorthand if statements. Okay, so this is what interests me. You can actually, if you have one condition to test, you can write it on one line of code, and it looks like shorthand what? If statement, like the way you have your shorthand operator, right? Okay, so before that, you know your shorthand operator? Shorthand operator, like say you have something like this, you want to say I is equal to I plus 1, right? So you can write it, this translates to what? I plus equal 1. You got the points, right? So this is a shorthand version of whatever you want to write here. So in the same way, we can actually shorten the if statement, and it will look like this only. Not literally like this, it will be written on a single line, okay? Or it will be printed with a single line statement. Fine. And the 6th one, you have your shorthand if else statement. Fine. So you have your shorthand if else statement. Fine. But that is not one of the things, that's not what actually interests me. What interests me is something we are going to see soon, which is this. Why don't I show you? Okay, your what? Pass statement and your switch case in Python. Hence, I decided to touch only on nested if, right? Very simple. So we write something and we go and execute it. Okay, quickly. Now, when do we use nested if statement? When do we use nested if statement? Let's revisit our program yesterday, right? So the question is, when do we use nested if? When do we use that? So you can Google it, okay? Nesting, I'll call it nesting. So what is nesting? There is an if statement, okay? If condition. Inside that if condition, I'm printing some statement, okay? I print some statement. Why this statement is still running, okay? Let's say it has not terminated. Again, I'm comparing another one. If another condition is true, okay? Then I'm printing some statement, okay? So simply put, an if statement inside an if is called nested if. So with nesting, actually, it makes more sense. Maybe at the end of it all, then I will now come to the else part. Okay, you might say, so you are saying if, but you are using if else, nested if else statement, no problem. Okay, now let's take a simple example. Remember our what do you call it, smart calculator yesterday, where we had some quantity. You remember, recall that yesterday's program where we had some quantity. Let's say the quantity of the commodity was maybe like 5 or something, right? We had that. Okay, so the commodity was, let's say, like 5. And then we had like the price was something like maybe like rupees whatever 30. Don't worry about the symbol, okay? And then we computed the amount. We said the amount was what? Price into what? Quantity. And don't forget, we added tax also yesterday. So let's say tax is equal to what? 18%, 0.18. Fine, we added that. Now, I want to know how much I will need, say, to purchase maybe like 10 items. Please listen. I'm going to write this program fixing the variables, and I want you to ask the user to take it during what? Runtime. Okay, very simple. So in this case, what we did was kind of, we compared, say, if amount, okay, if amount, or maybe like whatever, if I multiply this by this, I'm going to get 150, right? Fine. So if amount is greater than 150, because if I add the tax, right, I'll get something. If this amount is greater than 150, I will now check, okay, if it's greater than 150, maybe it might be less than 600, right? So I will say, okay, that means again, if amount, okay, if it is less than 600, maybe like it's greater than 500. If that is the case, If that is the case, I'll print something here. Print the amount, something, blah, blah, blah. The amount is greater than 500. Or sorry, is greater than what? 500 or something like that. Okay. Now, but in this case, definitely it will not see this because it will say, okay, the amount is not greater than 500, right? Then you can look for another condition. Under this block, inside this block, you say else because you don't want to break out of the block, right? You don't want to come out of it. You now say else. Sir, you told yesterday that you will give more examples on while true statements. Okay, thank you, Renin. Thank you so much. So, yes, Renin. So, I thought we should complete for loop because we have actually started using for loop before we got into while loop. Obviously, Renin, I cannot leave while loop like that. Okay, there are lots of use cases. Thank you for pointing that out. Thank you. Okay, so I thought, see, in between we have used for loops, okay, and we actually skipped nested if statements. So after for loop, obviously tomorrow I'm looking into while loop, and then we have to use that mostly call it together with our strings and then tuples, lists, and dictionaries. Okay, no problem. Thank you. So with that, like you now found that okay, that inside here you have like if amount is greater than some stuff. So basically you have seen this. So this is nesting. Okay. Now that is one case. So let's look at the shorthand operator then. Let's look at the shorthand operator quickly. So in this shorthand, what does it mean actually? So your shorthand. Okay, because most times we use this shorthand when we do what we call list comprehension. So okay, so we want to print the elements in a list, so we can actually use shorthand operator. We use it most times, and even most times we use them with lambda operations. Operations. Okay, so don't worry, just write that function there itself, and then you see we are using most times shortcut. Now here, let's say I ask the user to enter a number, okay, and the user enters number. The number is 10. Fine. Now I will now check if is this 10 if the number is greater than what? 12. Is 10 greater than 12? No, right? I will just print what? Number. On the same line, print what? I can say like this, num is what? Less than. Okay. If it's greater, please look here. If it's greater, I'll say num is greater. Please listen, is greater. And you know what it will give, right? It's greater than 12. Now, in this case, obviously nothing will be printed because num is equal to 10, right? So you can actually say else now, and on the same line, print. Okay. So this is your what? Shorthand what? Of if statements. Okay. So you have seen this, and we will just demo quickly some programs, and that's it. Now you see, many a times we have what we call with please look here. This is your simple if. Let's look at the shorthand with if else. Now in if else, that leads us to the question, leads us to the question whether Python supports ternary operator. Python, does it support ternary operator? Sorry, you might say, sir, you are just introducing so many terms now. But forget about this ternary operator first. We will take a help from Google, okay, and check what ternary operator is. In simple terms, ternary operator is like what? You comparing multiple if statements, okay, using one line on one line. Say that means you have your if condition is true, execute this part, else execute the other part. Ternary operator are heavily used in Python, Java, and maybe even C and C++, etc. Okay, but in Python it does not support it like ternary operator, but you can actually use the shorthand operator to mimic your ternary operator. Hence, let's compare two numbers now. Okay, we say num1 versus num1 is 3, and we say num2 is 6. Okay, so the question is num1 Renin, what I want you people to do, please, thank you, please, I want you to message me if I miss out any concept, okay, so that I will prepare that and add other things also before the class starts, okay, thank you. And it's not only for Renin, for everybody also, okay. If I miss out anything or you find difficult doing some assignments, please let me know so that we can discuss it while in the class itself. All right, and if you have also a suggestion on how we can write better codes also, please let me know. I don't know everything, right? Thank you. So here, if num1 is 6 and num2 is, num1 is 3, I beg your pardon, and num2 is 6, right? So what do we do? Please, let's compare this now. If we say num1, because some of you are having difficulty getting this actually. If num1 is greater than num2, right? So this is the condition. What do? You print something. Yes? Now print num1 is greater. You know it's a string. Num1 is greater. Or you can print the value of that also. I have taught you how to do that. Okay. Now what do? Else, obviously you don't need to compare again. Print what? Num2 is greater. Num2 is greater. Fine. Done. Now, all these can be squeezed into one line. Okay, mimicking the ordinary operator. How? You say print what? Num1 is greater. Num1 is greater. This is condition when true. Sorry, this is message when true, right? Message that is true. Sorry, let me write it on a, let me write this below so that you understand. I'll say print which message? Num1 is greater when which condition is true? When this condition holds true. If what? Num1 is greater than num2. Okay. Now on the same line, you say else what? You don't need to compare again, right? You don't need to say if num2 is greater than num1. You say else what? Print num2 is greater. Num2 is greater. Fine. So this we have actually prototyped, and it's looking like what? What is it called? Ternary operator. Fine. Okay, so how about having multiple else statements on same line? Have you thought about that? Have you encountered that? So question, can we have, I want somebody to tell yes or no, okay? I hope you got the question, right? Can we have multiple else statements on one line? On same line. I want you guys to go to the chat box and tell me whether this is possible or not. Can we have multiple else statements, okay, on the same line? Because we saw only one now, right? Yes or no? I'm looking at the chat box now. I will wait for a while because there might be this lag. Okay. Can we have multiple else statements on same line? All right. I will wait for the answer. Okay, let's continue. So let's try to do this, okay? And then we now say, okay, fine. Let's use the same thing, right? And let's say in this case now, we want to test for equality. Yes, thank you, Zuha. Okay, Zuha, I believe I pronounce your name properly, or I call you Syed. Fine. So the answer is yes, brilliant. Okay, yes. So how? Let's say the same program, right? You want to extend it to test for equality. Right? That means we have to check else if both are equal, right? So now we just write that. So we now say print what? Num1, same thing, num1, okay, is greater. I will not just write, I will just use abbreviation, is greater. If what? Num1 is greater than what? Num2. Now, else print what? Equal. Please remember it's a string. Equal. If what? If num1 is exactly equal to, please remember you are not using assignment operator, okay? You have to use double equal. Exactly equal to what? Num2. Now else print what? Not equal. Num2 is greater. You got the point? Num2 is greater. Fine. So this holds true. Fine. And a quick kind of overview. Someone asked, Cesar, yesterday you spoke about those logical operators. Do you remember? And or not, right? But we did not see we did not see you execute a program. So I'm just going to just write some stuff, okay? Quickly, we dry run it, okay? And in between, you will feel free to run them, okay? Now, those logical operators that we never executed, can we give instances of them? Can we write examples of it? Yes, say A is equal to 3 and B is equal to 2. Maybe C is equal to 5. Now let's check. We now say, please look here. Using logical operator, let's see whether this will evaluate to true or false. So we use logical AND here. In between, we can use logical OR and we can use logical NOT. Fine, no problem. Let's use in logical AND. What do we have? We can test the condition. If what? A is greater than B. Guys, what is the condition? Is A greater than B? This evaluates to true, right? Because A is greater than B. Fine. Now let's compare this now. And sorry, I don't want to use that. I want to use the same color. A is greater than B. True. There are no doubt. Now let's look at and. We now say and what? I will now say I want to say that A is greatest, right? And I'll say is A greater than C, guys? False. So this has evaluated to false. So if you club this together, true and false gives us what? False. Okay, so you get false printed on the screen. Okay, false. Okay, and you can actually do that. You say print that both conditions. You can also use print statement and say print that both conditions are false. You got the point? Now the same example, if you change it to or, now what will it evaluate to? Let's do that. If A is greater than B or A is greater than C, what do you think it will happen? A is greater than B evaluates to true, no doubt. But is A greater than what? C, false, right? So since we know true or false is addition operation, so it evaluates to true, no doubt. Now you can say if A is not equal to B, in this case they are not equal to, so you can print yes, they are not equal to. Okay, no doubt. Now this is done. And let's look at our what else should we do now? Let's look at our pass statement. So the question is, why do we need pass? I believe you must have seen it in many programs actually. Oh, sorry, my screen is stuck. How many of you can still see only 5 days of Python programming? Can you see what I'm projecting? Please tell me what you can see, please, guys. I'm writing something, but I see from the other display only 5 or 50 days of Python is there. Can you see my journal notebook where I'm scribbling something? Please message me on WhatsApp, please. I need a confirmation quickly. It's completely stuck. This is not moving. Please let me know quickly, guys. Message me on my WhatsApp number, quick. Can you see the notebook where I'm scribbling something? I don't want you to see the presentation. Okay. Yes, thank you. Okay, because I was just checking it. Yes, screen is visible. Thank you so much. Thank you. Because I was just checking from, yeah, thank you. I was checking from my mobile phone and I can see the same thing is hung in just the same place. Okay, I don't know what, okay, some of you saying no, sir. I don't know what no, sir. Okay, visible. Thank you, guys. All right, so quickly, let's continue. So the question is, why do we need pass statement? Why this pass statement? Okay, it's actually a statement. Why do we need it? Yeah, true and false visible. Thank you so much, Lavish. So why do we need pass statement? You see, at times, you have seen people, okay, they started with a function, say they called a function. Don't worry, we get to this function soon, okay? We use the keyword to define a function. We say function, say hello. And I don't know what I have to print inside here. I'll just comment it out. I'm still thinking what I have to do, okay? What I will just do, I'll say pass. Okay? I'll say pass. Now, you see here, this is actually used, okay? In most cases, if you want the statement that cannot be empty, please listen, okay? And you see, this statement, this method cannot be empty, right? But if you refuse to put anything here, it will just throw an error. So we just use pass to ensure that this code gets passed and it will not print anything. We use this to avoid getting error. Why pass? To avoid getting error messages. To avoid getting error. So you might ask now, right? Getting error messages. You might ask now, how is this different then? We can actually use comments. Yes or no? We can actually use comments. Say a multi-line comment, you can actually use that. So why do we need this then? So the difference between the comment and the pass statement is that the comment is not even, the interpreter completely ignores it. If it is a comment, the interpreter completely ignores this. But with the pass statement, sorry, I beg your pardon, please. The interpreter will get into this and say, okay, maybe you are thinking of something you have to do here. I will get back to you later. Then it is okay, fine, done. Okay, so we show examples quickly. So let's say I want to check, okay, I want to print that A is greater than B quickly. So what is the example? Let's look at examples now quickly. So here I want to say that, okay, num1 is equal to maybe 27 and num2 is equal to 50. I said if A is greater than B, I should print A is greater, but I don't know what to do because I know that this is false, right? B is greater than A. I will just say here pass. What happens? there won't be any error. Okay, it says okay, fine, maybe you are thinking of what to put here. Okay, so this is why actually we use that. And remember the reason, guys, the difference between this and comment is that your comment only, the interpreter completely ignores that. Okay, whereas in this case, obviously it will try to look into that. It will try to compare and say, okay, maybe you are thinking of what you have to put next. So quickly, let's go into the demo session. All right, so I'm going to maximize this now, and then I believe the entire screen is visible. Now let's start with the first one, the nested if. So this is the syntax. Okay, so you have if expression, the statement that evaluates to true in that case. Otherwise, sorry, not otherwise, please. Once it evaluates to true, go ahead and come inside here and check this statement. Now, once this statement evaluates to true, then you now check. Okay, if it evaluates to true, no need to check all the other ones, right? But if it failed, then you have to check, is it this guy actually? Okay, it is this guy. You can also have another if statement inside. Okay, then if that guy failed, this second condition failed, you now go and check the third one. Now after that, you check the fourth one. Now you see, once this is done, now inside this, that's why it's called nesting, you have to now come out. If all these conditions fails, definitely it has to be this guy. Okay, but if the condition inside here failed, if any of the condition inside here fails, then I have to print the else part. But if the condition inside the parent expression, think of it like your inheritance in which you have your parent and you have your child, whatever relationship. Inside this parent or the roots, if this condition fails, then only I have to do this else part. I mean, this the first one, right? Everything here did not match, then I have to print this. Okay, so you've seen this is it actually. So let's give an example. Okay, now I'm going to comment something out quickly, and then we compile it. Fine, done. So this is, I said try to modify this, and I'll tell you what I mean by trying to modify this. We have set number to be what? 150. Is num less than 250? Yes. So what you entered is less than 250 will be printed, no doubt. Now we reassign num to be 170. What you entered is 170. Now we do this, but do you notice there will be an issue with this code? You will see now, sorry. The issue is that it will never see other conditions because this condition is true only. So it will stop here. And it will print by in between. Now watch. Let's run this quickly. I hope I closed everything. Yeah, okay. Now let's run this and then you understand what I mean. F5 quickly. Now we see that, okay. Oh, sorry. I left that assignment. Sorry guys, I need to comment out something here, this guy. So take this out, fine. And then I'll close it here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, done. Now let me run this again. Okay, so please don't get confused, please. Sorry for the confusion so far. In case if you're confused, please look here. Okay, now, and this is why I want you to modify this program. I'm going to press F5 now, enter. Now, immediately I press F5, he said, what you entered is less than 250. Bye. That's it. Okay, sorry, I see. Okay, so please stop, don't write during the session, please. Don't write during the session, please. Okay, some of you are requesting just give a while. I know you are following sincerely, thank you so much for that, but if I keep doing this I will keep you guys for 2-3 hours, which I don't want to do. Okay, thank you so much. So that's the reason why, please. And some people ask when is the video available? I believe you see it directly, Maria, right? Once we are done, the video is is available with you only, so I don't need to share any link again, right? So please, in that case, go back and then go through this. Sorry, I have to be fast because I have lots of things to cover up. Now you see, okay, this is the thing, but you see here, in every case, even if I run this 10 times, I'm going to get the same thing. All these cases are not tested. You got the point? Okay, so let's run it for another time. And you see, sorry, it's already executing. Please wait. Done. Okay. So whatever we entered is still like that. Fine. Now, what I want you to do is, why don't you ask the user to enter this number? So, such that you're able to test all these cases, right? Easy. So you comment this guy out. And what do you do now? You now say, okay, I know it was called num1. Is what? Now remember, you have to typecast it, right? Int, we say what input. Now we say enter any number. Enter any integer number, whatever. Okay, integer number. Now, once the user enters any number, all right, So what you have to do now, you have to check. Let's now, since we know this is always evaluating to 250, sorry, less than 250, let's enter anything. Let's enter exactly 170. We enter exactly 120, and we enter other things that are out of the range of these two. Okay, quickly, shall we do that? Yes. So let's run this now. We just press this. Okay, now, and then we see, sorry, this was never closed. Exactly. Okay, and you don't need to be sorry. Okay, you pointed out something, that's fine. I'm not taking your name, so you don't need to be sorry. That was a good observation. Okay, so this one, it says enter any number. Let's enter 170. Okay, now it says, see, what you entered is less than 250. You entered what? 170. Yeah, got it? Fine. Let's enter 120 in between. Okay, so you got the concept. Now I have to keep this now and run them side by side so that I won't be maximizing and minimizing, dragging here and there. Fine. So now this is it. 1 minute. All right, so this is what we have so far. Okay, and then we run this. Okay, so I'm pushing it to this side and to that side. Okay, I think the orientation might not make sense, but I prefer moving this way to that way better. Okay, so you got the concept. Now let's test other conditions, and let's test a condition that is not here actually. Maybe we enter something that is less than a threshold. So if it is less than 50, we should print something, right? That this is like that. Okay, fine. So let's run this quickly, and we say F5 now. Now it says enter a number. So let me enter 40. Obviously, it says, see, what you entered is less than 250, and then you entered, actually, the value you entered is less than 50. Bye. Done. So this is the little improvement which I wanted you to do. So after this is done, let's look at the next program. Okay, fine. So this one says you have to accept a number from the user and check, if the user entered a positive number, negative, or 0, right? Now, you know how we did without using nesting of if statements. See, this is an if statement. Please look here. The first one will evaluate to true. 1 minute. 1 minute, guys. This should comment out the remaining. Yes, it's commented out. Okay. Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. So let's go back here and understand how this is different from whatever we've written. Okay. Initially, we want to check whether a number is positive or negative number. Very simple, right? So if you ask me, how do I check if a number, let's say your little sister asks you, Aka or Anna, how do I check if a number is negative or positive? Negative or positive? What do you do? On a number line, right? Any number that is towards the left is negative number. Towards the right, I'm talking from my own orientation, is positive number. What is the, what's the point? What's the turning point? Okay, the turning point is what? The center, which is 0. Hence, if I move towards the right, it is increasing. If I move towards the left, it's decreasing. So what do I do? Sorry, what do? I will now put the threshold that if the number is less than 0, it is what? Negative number. If it is greater than 0, it is what? Positive number. Done? So that is what we are going to do now. And in that case, we can actually write this using if statement on the right. If what? Num, first thing, is greater than 0, we print what? It is what? Positive. Right? Then we say elif num. Now elif num, or whatever is exactly equal to 0, we print what? It is what? 0. Fine. Then finally else, it has to be what? Print it is what? Negative. Did you see that this is actually lengthier? Right? Yes, so that was the concept. That was what I was trying to emphasize on. So if it is lengthier, can we use multiple if statements now, nested if statements, to check the condition? Okay, and on that premise, we are actually executing this program. Okay, is whatever, let it be. Now I'll come back here. This was what I wanted. Fine. So here, the first condition evaluates to what? Checks here. Fine. Is this number, why my mouse is not moving? Sorry. Is this number, okay, greater than 0? If it's greater than 0, is it equal to 0 actually? If what I entered is greater than 0 and equal to 0, then exactly I have to say it is what? 0. Otherwise, if it is greater than 0 and it is not equal to 0, I have to print it is a positive number. Else I print it a negative number. That's it. Okay. So we execute this now. We execute this now, and let's see. Okay, you must save it, no problem. Now fine, enter a number. Look at where we are, guys. This one. Okay, so enter a number. Let's test all the conditions. Let me enter 0. Fine, you entered 0. 0 is printed. Fine, so I run this again. Oh, sorry, you cannot see the screen now. Okay, is kill it. Fine, then run it again. F5. Okay, now it says enter a number. Okay, no matter how I do. Okay, I will need your help, guys. Like, how can I fix this permanently so that it will not be jumping? Do you have any solution? Please let me know, because whenever I close this, okay, again I have to drag and drop there. If anybody has a solution, please let me know. Okay, now in this case, now let's enter another number. Let's enter like 7. Obviously 7 will be positive number. Got it? Now we run this again. Let's enter the negative case. Okay, enter a number. Let's enter -6. Obviously it is a negative number. Got it? Fine. So this is it. Next, what do we have to do now? Okay, so we get to the past statement. Okay, and then this is where we are. All right, so I have to comment out the remaining. Here we need to actually look into this pass, why this guy refuses to work here. Okay, so in this case, this is done with the negative and positive. Fine, I close this guy here, it should work. And then this is for my passing, and then I'm going to comment out the rest. So open this guy here. This is a comment. So this is used to execute the statement. Okay, it's used when the statement is required, syntactically, but you do not want that code to execute. Fine. So this start statement is what? Actually is called the null operator. Yes. Okay, so many a times, thank you, window key plus left arrow. Okay, thank you so much, Lavish. Thank you. So usually nothing happens when it runs. You got it? So the pass statement is useful in scenarios where the code will eventually run, okay, but you have not entirely written it yet. You want this code to run, but you don't know what it is yet. Fine. So in that case, we use this. Fine. So let's do this now. Now we comment out the remaining and let's see. So here I have kept this and this and that. Now I'll print B is lesser than A only if what? This condition is true. Okay, but what condition am I checking? A is less than B. Nothing will happen. So we run this quickly. Now it says B is lesser than A because yes, okay, I actually implemented this. That was not what I wanted to do. Let me comment this guy out and you see I shouldn't get an error. Okay, I shouldn't get an error. Initially I run this and see nothing gets printed, but there was no error. Okay, that was the first case. Okay, so yes, if A is less than B, obviously just pass it. A is not less than B. Actually, A is greater than B. Otherwise, I have to print B is less than A. So when I remove this, then it printed the S part. So that maybe I was just thinking what I should do. I can use pass to hold it temporarily. That is my null variable. Okay, it's called null operation. Fine. Now this is done. Okay, let's look at another case. In this case, I will comment this guy out quickly, and then this is fine, and then okay. Now let's use it. Now you might say, sir, okay, we have not done this. Don't worry, guys, don't worry. Okay, we will touch them as the class proceeds. Okay, so what are we doing here? Here I have this list, and inside this list, okay, I have to, please look here, I have to go through the list. If A is not equal to, if the items in the list, I'm iterating through this list. If items in the list is exactly, one of them is exactly equal to A, I should not print that. I will print the remaining. I will just jump that. So it's going to print B, C, D. So this is a practical use case, and I should get an error here. Okay, now I believe there won't be any error in this case now. So let's run this, and you see it will print B, C, D. Fine. So you can see the output here, B, C, D. Fine. Okay, I will try what Lavish suggested. So I'm going to close this now, and then I'll open it again, file new, and I'm going to press Windows plus left arrow. Okay, window plus left. Ouch, it's locked. Okay, Windows lock I did actually. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's get back here. Window plus left arrow is what he suggested. Good boy, thank you. And it came actually. It came, and again now I take my window back. Fine, thank you. Yeah, that works. So I learned something thanks to Lavish. All right. So but the thing here is this was not, I wanted this guy actually. So let's run this quickly and see what happens now. F5. Okay, so yeah, you can see BCD printed. So I'm going to prototype this again, window plus left. Yeah, that's it. Okay, yes, but why does this happen actually? Okay, fine, this is fine. Okay, now you have seen the concept, so let's remove this and then we move to the next thing. Okay, so in this case, we want to look at what now? Switch case. Very important. So the question is, do Python support switch cases? Can you guess yes or no? I want to okay, yeah, usually we should create poll in between. Okay, but yes, only one moderator is there. Fine. Do Python support switch cases? Okay, so the answer is yes and no. Okay, actually Python did not support switch cases implicitly, but there is a way in which you can actually implement switch case. In case you don't know, I mean, switch case, you can actually Google it. Okay, it's kind of a way of reducing the number of if statements, right, making your program more readable and comprehensive. Example, if I ask you to write a program that will find what the sum of what, sorry, find odd numbers, sorry, not odd numbers, a program that will find whether a letter entered is a vowel or a consonant, why don't I write it? So structure of switch case in Java is very simple. Okay, structure, usually Java and C++, all of them support switch cases. Of what switch case? So you know why you use switch cases. Okay, say example, I want you to test this condition. If whatever you entered, character is equal to A, exactly equal to A, or again, car is exactly equal to capital A, then you have to test again. You now print that it is what? It is what? Vowel. Now that means you have to test A, E, I, O, U. You can actually use the for true cases here. Okay, or you have to test A, E, I, O, U, capital, right? If any of these fails, you now default it that it is what? Consonant. You print it is a consonant, right? Fine. That means it is not a vowel, right? Fine. Now the structure, I think is just there. I will explain from there and run to execute the code. Okay, fine. So this is what we have. Okay, and then we got this. In this case, you gonna use this. Okay, the way you can implement it is using what we call what? 3 acts. Now the question is, how many ways can you implement this switch case in Python? So people say, okay, fine, 3 ways, 6 ways. Actually, what I found out, like, there are just 3 ways, but those 3 ways are kind of extension of the other. Example, using if else if then. Okay, example here. Now please listen, I use their function. For now, forget about this function, forget about the function. Okay, and let's see whether this code will execute. Okay, I need to indent it. Let's run with function and I'll show you without function. Okay, so in this case, now listen please, we will treat function as the class proceed. For most of you that doesn't know, enter your option from whatever. We want to check the month of the year, right? Whether the month is January. So there are 12 months. So if this option is exactly equal to 1, right, I'm going to print what? When you enter 1, it is January. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Please look here. I was lazy, I did not take till what? Whatever, till 12. Now, if I maximize this a bit, you're going to see something here. I have told you actually enter you the option. So I don't want to give this option here. Enter your option, okay, to get the month of the year. Fine. So let's execute this now. And sorry, unterminated triple quotes. Yes. Where is it? This guy. Okay. Okay. No, not this one. So why is this here actually? Okay. So I need to close these guys here from here. So many programs I left open. All right, so yeah, so many of them. Let me close the remaining. So this is what we are actually looking at. I'm going to close these guys quickly. Fine. So this is what we are looking at. Okay, please listen. From here I needed only till December, but I just stopped at July. So what do you think will happen when I enter for August? If I enter it, what do you think will happen? Okay, let's see that now. Now enter the option to get the month. Let's enter the true options. Okay, so 4. Fine, enter. So we are getting the month is April, no doubt. Okay, so it evaluated to this one, no problem. Fine. Now what we have to do next is we run this again and let's enter an option which it was actually valid, but we did not capture that. So I'm going to enter here now. I will say 10. It's supposed to print October, right? I mean October, but it says invalid. Enter numbers between 1 to 12. The reason is, yes, I was lazy. I did not capture that. Okay, so you have to extend this program till what? 12. And after that fails, you have to do this. Now look here. With the function, we can actually call this n number of times. Okay, so I run this. Okay, okay, window left arrow, fine. Now here what I need to do is I need to just enter 6 watch June. Now what I can do, I can call this with the function name. It becomes easy instead of me to run it over and over again. You got the point? Enter. Now it says enter the option to get the month. I'll say 3. Okay, again I can call this switch. Okay, sorry, okay, switch option. Fine. So with the function, actually, I'm able to call this program and run it. And only, please listen, I have to call it, okay, n number of times based on my requirements, right? So if I enter 0, it should tell me what invalid. Enter between 1 to 12. Fine. Remember, this is incomplete. Okay. So the question is, can we not do without switch case, right? So if I take out this, obviously it will tell me unexpected indent. So the thing next is this. How can I, wait 1 minute, guys, I want to see, is there a way I can actually move these guys at once without, I have to redo this. You got my points, guys. I want to move them at once without actually doing them one after the other. Anyway, I'll just finish this. I don't know if that option exists. Please, if you find it, just let me know. Okay, so I just want to indent both of them at once, okay, so that they will not give me any indentation error. So one of the things with Python is this: if you actually don't follow the tabbing properly, it will throw an error. Right now we will have that error once. Now let's say I will put it here, okay, and try executing this. Okay, now February spelling, even if it's wrong also, it doesn't matter. Now you see here invalid syntax. Okay, so this one actually says else do that. Okay, now if I push this guy here now and I refuse to indent this properly, again I'll get indentation error quickly. So let's just run this. This is fine, no problem. Okay, now even without function we can actually run this code, but the only problem here is we need to, the month is May, we need to again keep pressing F5 here to run this over and over again. I hope you got the concept. Fine. Now let's do something. Now this is done. Okay, so and then yeah, the other one also, yes, was what I wanted to do here. Okay, I actually did that together. And after this now okay, let's use another way in with this, another option, another way in which we can actually implement switch cases. Okay, so this is using the concept of class. Now we have not started object-oriented programming. Don't worry about it. Let's just run the program. So, and then we explain that. And here I use lambda operations. So I will not waste time because we have not started what? We haven't started what? Classes. So what are the ways in which you can implement switch case? Let me maximize this once for all. So the ways, first one, you can actually use what? If else if ladder. You can actually use what? Concept of class, and you can actually use the concept of dictionary, the last one. Okay, your key value pair. Yes, some people will also give variations of that, this and that. Okay, but it's fine. So comment this out quickly and let's run this. Okay, so yes, I believe there won't be any error here now. So keep them side by side and just run this. Fine. And look here, at the end of the day you have to call them. This is the object of this class. 3 we call March, then April, and then October. Fine. And that's it. So run this. Fine. Okay, so window L. Fine. So this is what we got. Fine. This is what we got. March, April, October. Fine, no doubt. Fine, I called it 3 times. Okay, I can also call this switch demo. That's it. Fine. And then the last one, the last way in which you can demo what? Switch case is by using what? The concept of your what? Exactly. I shouldn't have removed this here. I will cover it here. The concept of dictionary. So we will touch dictionaries, no problem, but just remember, dictionary tries to imitate your your key. Sorry, it goes with these 2 attributes, your key with your value. Hence, if I want to access 200, I have to access it with this key. So if I just just write A, okay, it's going to tell me it is 200. Okay, enter a character. A is 200, the value. Okay, now key is A, value is this. B is like, think of it your name and row number, or row number and name. So you can take name as a string and row number. Who is the person whose name is this? And then we can print that. Now enter a character. Fine. Now did you notice something here? So what does this actually do? So D7 is the default number that gets executed when all the conditions fail. Is that else condition is optional after using if Yes, Hannah, but the question here is if you don't use else, okay, when all the condition fails, right, you won't have anything to execute. We have done this over and over. So when you don't use else, okay, and you only keep using elif, when all those conditions fails, right, it's like your default statement in switch case. You won't have anything to execute. So even though it's optional, it is worthwhile, actually. You should use that. Okay, I hope that answers your question. So let's just uh, run this now. Fine, and then I should comment out the remaining actually. So here I have this. Fine. Okay, yeah, did I close these guys? Yes. So you have seen this. Let's execute this quickly. Fine, enter. Now you see enter a character here. Now let me just enter B. So B should give me value 223, right? So it gave me 223. Okay, I'm going to run this again. Please pay close attention here. I'm going to run it again. Now I'm going to enter F or G or Z, anything. If I enter X, it's going to print 7. The result is 7. Okay, so whatever I declared inside this got method is what is going to print. Okay, hope that makes sense. Now let's continue. Guys, please hold on for some time. Okay, we're almost done. Now, in summary, you see Python dictionary does not have inbuilt whatever, okay? However, you can use this concept, right? Dictionary classes and what? Elif method, that's all. Now, many a times we use loops, okay? And this is not while loop. We are talking of for loops. We have used them over and over. You know for sure what this is. The first one is going to print, right? Everybody knows that this first one is going to print what? Hello world 7 times. However, if I want, now the question is from where is it actually, from which, what is the value of I? I mean, what I mean is this, will I start from 1 because it's going to print hello world 7 times, so what will be the value of I? Let's see this quickly. Okay, so first one, I run this, okay, and then you see it printed this 7 times. So that means the value started from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It stopped at 6, right? So I will show an example to know what value it prints actually. Okay, what is the value of I at each iteration? Fine? Okay. Now this is done. Okay, take it out and then come back to the second example. Now the second example says, when we use range of this, now please look here, introduce this out of like curiosity. Okay, so eval is the same thing, that evaluate this to a number. So it's same thing as saying int. I also want you to try that because in some textbooks you see int and you see eval. Okay, so eval evaluates this to a number, okay, instead of a string, because that's what that's accessed by default. So what this is going to do is going to take whatever I enter and find the cubic value of that. Say I entered something. Okay, let me just move this so you see, and I'm multiplying that, raise it to power 3, right? So whatever I enter is going to take that and it's going to repeat this n number of times. So how many times now? 3 times. After that, it's going to say that the loop is over. So it will prompt me to enter a number 3 times. Okay. Now let's do this quickly. Sorry, I pressed something there, F4. So let's do this quickly. And here you have enter a number. So I enter. Let's do cubic values of 4. Cubic value of 4 will be 216, right? No, 64. Sorry. 6 is 216. Okay, 64. 4 into 4 is 16. 16 into 4 is 64. Cubic value of 5 obviously is 125, right? Fine. Cubic value of 6 is 216. Yes. Now, and then it says, yeah, now the loop is over. Got it? Now this loop is over. Fine. Now, one of the things you might need to do is this. Okay, many a times you want a particular loop to be executed number of times, then before you go to the next one. Example. So we see something here. We see something here. Look at this loop below. I'll take out this. Look at this for loop below. Where I want, look here, to print apple and print banana. I print apple, I'll print banana. Okay. Then only I enter the loop, right? So what is this going to do? There are 2 elements or items that I have to print here. What are those 2 items? They have to print carrot and dragon fruit. Now it's going to print carrot, dragon fruit, okay, 2 times. That means in each case 2 times. So how many elements will be printed here? 1, 2, plus this is, 3 times, please. So this is 6, 8, 9, and then finally it prints eggplant, right? Fine. Now let's just check this quickly and see what happens. So in this case, close this guy, press this back again. Now I got this. Fine. Now you see, this is what we have, right? So it printed carrot, dragon fruit, carrot, dragon fruit, carrot, dragon fruit, and then eggplant. Already 7, 8, 9. 9 times it printed that. Fine. Now, what if you want to print them individually? That is what this next one is going to do. So I think I don't need to run that. You already understood. Look at this next one. A, B, fine. Then C, yes, 3 times. D, again 3 times, and then E. No problem, right? Fine. Now, and then the last one is this. We want to know the value of that loop, right? Because does it start from 1, or is it starting actually from 1, or is it starting from 0? Any guess, guys? Okay, if it starts from 1, why 1 actually? Who knows why it's starting from 1? Okay, we run this now. So let me make this shorter so that we can actually display it here. So same thing, right? So it's going to run 7 times, but the value of this will be what? 0, starting from 0. So why 0? You know, when we iterate through arrays, right? So 0 to 6. Okay, so this corresponds to the values of that. Fine. Now, usually I even don't know why it has to start from 0 and not from 1, because we say array index indices start from 0. So maybe when I also iterate through that, yes, by default it's starting from 0. Okay, so can you force this guy to start from 1? You got the point. Can you force this to start from 1? That is the question. Is it possible? Because you see that the array index is what? From 0 to 6. So my question is, I want you to force this to start from 1. Got it? So what you do? Very simple. So you say for I in range of what? 1, 7. So how many times will it run now? It will run 6 times, right? Because the last condition will not be executed, right? Now I have to print I. Okay, now we run this and we see F5, save it, and now you see it starts from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so be very careful. Okay, so this is it. Now I comment this guy out. Fine, and let's look at something else. I hope you are able to follow. Any confusion so far? Okay, now how about something here? I in range of 3. Now look here. What do you think will happen here? What do you think will happen? So yes, thank you. It's possible, Kitty. Thank you so much. Yes, it's possible. So what do you think will happen in this case? Obviously, how many times will this loop run? Anybody? It's supposed to run 3 times, right? That is 0, 1, and 2. Yes, but it will first of all increment the value. It says I is 0, I plus 1 is 1, prints hello, star hello. Then go and do 2, and then that is 0 plus 1, it will execute, come inside here. 1 plus 1, it come inside here. Then 1 plus 2 is 3. After that only it will break out. Now we can actually see that here. Okay, so you see that's why we are seeing 1 star hello, 2 star hello, and 3 star hello. That's it. Okay, because at this stage now, why he printed that 3 is because at the time it came here, the value of I was 2. Thank you. Okay, sorry Renin, I don't know why you said 12. Sorry, please just get back to me on WhatsApp. Okay, fine. Now this is done. Okay, I'm going to comment this guy out, and then we want to print some pretty patterns, because an assignment which I'm going to give you will print some pretty patterns. Please look here. There is one thing we call the range function, okay, which I want to explain. Okay, so let's look at this range function in Python, and I believe many of you knows it actually. Okay, many of you knows it. We have used range. Let's say I want to take a jump 2 steps at a time. 2 steps at a time. So let's do small writing. Please guys, just stay put for some time. We are almost done. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, so I have a statement here. I have some statements. Okay, quickly let's populate this, and I have the values it generated. Values. Okay, so here I'm going to write something. If I say range of what? Range of 10. What will it print? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You got that? No doubt. Excuse me. What if I say range of? You've seen that 1, 7. It printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. No doubt. Now, what happens if I say range of what? 3, 7. What will it print? It will print what? 3, starting from 3 and stopping at the last element minus 1. So it will print 3, 4, 5, and 6. It will not print 7. Now, let's do something. Let's say we have range of, let's use the same thing, 3 comma 7 comma, okay, by default, what do you think this will print? 3 comma 7 comma 1. When you take 3 arguments, can anybody tell me what this will print? 3 4 5 6. Good, Ama, exactly, because by default it is jumping 1 step. So this prints the same thing, 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6. Now what happens when I say range of this? Obviously you know the answer now, 3 comma 9 comma 2. So what will it print? It will print 3 comma 5 comma 7, and it will stop, right? Cool. So there is something funny here. Can I actually jump 3 steps? Because we know for sure most times we can jump 2 steps. Let's try jumping 3 steps and see what happens. So this is going to print 2 comma 3 4 5 comma 6 7 8 comma 9 10 11 comma 12 13 14 comma, then it will jump. But can we print this? Please listen, in reverse order. Let's say range of what? We have 7 to 2 minus 1. This is reverse order, 3 5 7. Exactly, brilliant. Thank you guys. Okay, so what will happen? This will print now what? 7. Now look here. You see the funny part? The beginning condition will be printed, or the beginning value. Okay, the initialization parameter or the initialization value will be printed. So this prints 7, what? 6 now, 5 4 3. Now will it print 2? No, it will stop here. You got the point? Yeah, it will stop here. So this is what I want you to pay close attention to, and we're going to do something now. How many of you has watched this Falcon X? I think this Elon Musk company, okay, sending this what do you call it, rockets to space, right? So let's use that to time down. Okay, let's use the same function, okay, to time down. Remember, we want to do a reverse printing, right? So let's send Falcon to space. Okay, and please listen, I want you to delay this. Okay, we will add a method now. Okay, actually we add a method, an inbuilt method only to delay it now. Okay, now we want to say fine. I will say 5 4 3 2 1 0, blasting off. You got the point? Even before you run race, they say on your mark, set, then with the gun sound. So let this count down from 5 to 0, and then after it will blast off into space. Let's print something here. Now you see it will just print 5 4 3 2 1, and that's it. See, you did not see anything, right? How did it count down? It did that very fast. I think the delay is 0 milliseconds or 1 millisecond. This is not what we wanted. We want this to take some time to delay so that we see this. So what we do, we import this. I think it's called time. Let's see. If I make mistakes, guys, please don't beat me, okay? In Nigeria, we say, come and beat me, I'm in my house. Okay, if you want to beat me also, I'm in my house. So we say import time. Okay, so we want to use this time. Now you can say import time as t, but I don't want that now. Import time, then I want as this counts, right? I should delay it for some time, right? So I will say time.sleep. I believe this is what I want to do. Time.sleep, and then let's delay it for, let's say 5 seconds. Okay, now 5 seconds. Okay, yes, thank you. 5 4 3 2 1, exactly written. Brilliant. So in this case, I have done this, okay, and let's run this now and see what happens. F5, okay, enter. Now watch, 0 to this print. Oh, print that blasting off into, yeah, 5. You see, it will delay. Okay, so you can actually reduce it to 2 seconds. I think 5 seconds is more. 4 is 5 seconds. Is, sorry, yes, 5 is not 5 seconds, guys. It's 5, yeah, 5 seconds only. Yes, 5 seconds only, not milliseconds. This is 5 seconds. So you see, it's taking much time. So you can actually make it then blasting off. Okay, fine. Take care. Now, we are done, guys. Thank you so much. We are done. But look at one more thing, please. Look at one more thing here. All right. Just stay with me for some time. We are done, actually. Now, the last one is this. What is the output of this program, actually? What? Please look at this. What is the output of this program? Can anybody guess the output of whatever I've highlighted? What will it print? Anybody? This I have highlighted. What is the output? I'm just waiting. Okay, we will wind up with this. What is the output of this, guys? Do you think just try to run it? I mean, Okay, don't type and tell the answer. Okay, try to do dry run. Okay, so I need to print star. Okay, I need to print something 4 times, right? From 0 to 3. And what is it I want to print? Asterisk 6 times, right? So it's going to draw some square stars or rectangular stars. Sorry, it has to be rectangular because it is 6 into 4. You got the point? So that I will have 24 stars printed, right? Into that means I will have 6 cross 4 or 4 cross 6. Sorry, 4 cross 6, please. I'm going to have a matrix of 4 cross 6. So let's run these stars. Let's run this and see what happens. So yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have 6 stars. Okay. Now using this concept, let's print something else here. Now look at this, guys. What do you think this will print? What do you think this will print? This one. What do you think it will print? I gave this as an assignment before, okay? So this will print what? First print star in the first case, or if it is 0, 0 obviously come and then print this and increment, fine. 1, 2, 3, okay, 4 times. Let's run it quickly and see. So we're going to get this kind of star. Can you see that? Yes. So if you want to print space, you don't need a special character, just print space here only, right? So just run this, sorry, run that, and then this is what we have, right? You can see the spaces, right? Cool. Now with this, I'm going to give you some assignments, but these assignments I want you to tackle it. How can you print what? A big A, and we wind up with that. So actually letter A, now look here guys, look here. Empty string, first set an empty string to be 0. Let's run this and then we get back to the program. So for that, I don't need this guy, I think. Yep. So press F5 and we are done. Now look here. Now this printed A, okay, but please listen, but I'll make the code available, okay. What I want you to do is to look at your assignment. So I will minimize everything now and then I will go back here, fine, maximize this guy. Now look at your homework. It says write a program that prints a giant letter A. First one. Allow the user to specify how large the letter should be. You got the point. This printed letter A, no doubt, but that's not what I wanted. It printed letter A. But I want you now to ask the user to print how large this letter will be based on whatever we have learned. Please, I want you to do this, please. Okay? So, before we wind up, let's revisit what we did today quickly, and then we end up with that. Okay? So, let's go back to the PPT. Fine. And then we try to check them, and we are done. Okay, so I must thank you so much guys for staying tuned. I tell you you guys are amazing group of students. Okay, and I'm really sorry some people, once they filled in their attendance, they left. So moderators, please, tomorrow attendance you have to share it at the end of the lecture, not in between. Fine. Now so here we have nested if done, past statement done, switch case in Python done, yes for loop done, the variable done, the range function done, and your homework done. Yes, on this note I will wind up and I will see you guys tomorrow same time. Take care. Until then, stay safe and enjoy your classes. Bye for now.